I'm editing this video and I don't want to change anything I said, so I'm adding this to the beginning. This is a video of the Acting Secretary of the Navy explaining why Captain Crozier was removed from command. I still mean everything I said, and I'm going to play the entirety of it, all 7 minutes and some odd, after. So there have been no cuts. You'll see there are no cuts by looking at my body movement and the rest. For example, I'm going to put a cut right here. As no one can remember exactly where their body was in space, when I do this, whether I need to sneeze, take a drink, whatever, you can tell when I make those little stop recording, start recording cuts. Even when you watch like the Corridor crew do their VFX artists react, hidden cuts, if you can go frame by frame, can be seen. So, and I'm not trying to hide them. So the original video will play, but I wanted to include the Acting Secretary's video because his words are exactly what you need to hear. Captain Crozier was not removed for political gain or for political moves. He was removed because he broke the chain of command. And from the lowliest ensign to the highest ranking admiral in the Navy, when you break the chain of command, you can no longer be trusted with your position. And so the Navy lost trust in Captain Crozier, and therefore the Navy has removed Captain Crozier from command. So let's go on and watch the video from the Acting Secretary, after which I'll roll the original video. Thank you.
I'm here today to inform you that today, at my direction, the commanding officer of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, Captain Brett Crozier, was relieved of command by Carrier Strike Group Commander Rear Admiral Stuart Baker. When the commanding officer of the USS Teddy Roosevelt decided to write his letter on the 30th of March 2020 that outlined his concerns for his crew in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak, the Department of the Navy had already mobilized significant resources for days in response to his previous requests. It's important to understand that the Strike Group Commander, the CO's immediate boss, is embarked on the Theodore Roosevelt with him, right down the passageway. The letter was sent over non-secure, unclassified email, even though the ship possesses some of the most sophisticated communications and equipment in the fleet. And it wasn't just sent up the chain of command, it was sent and copied to a broad array of other people. It was sent outside of the chain of command. At the same time, the rest of the Navy was fully responding. Worse, the captain's actions made his sailors, their families, and many in the public believe that his letter was the only reason help from our larger Navy family was forthcoming, which was hardly the case. I did not come to this decision lightly. I have no doubt in my mind that Captain Crozier did what he thought was in the best interest of the safety and well-being of his crew. Unfortunately, it did the opposite. It unnecessarily raised alarms with the families of our sailors and Marines with no plan to address those concerns. It raised concerns about the operational capabilities and operational security of that ship that could have emboldened our adversaries to seek advantage, and it undermined the chain of command who had been moving and adjusting as rapidly as possible to get him the help he needed. For these reasons, I lost confidence in his ability to continue to lead that warship as it fights through this virus to get the crew healthy and so that it continue to meet its important national security requirements. Captain Crozier is an honorable man who, despite this uncharacteristic lapse of judgment, has dedicated himself throughout a lifetime of incredible service to our nation, and he should be proud of that, as we all are.
Welcome back, folks. Good afternoon. I hope you're having a productive Friday. We're about to enter week 4 of work from home for me. And this is a new development in a story that's been going for a couple of days with the USS Theodore Roosevelt and Captain Crozier, who in recent days was in the news because he was requesting to basically dock the aircraft carrier and have all of the people on board who had tested positive for COVID-19 housed on shore. But today, Acting Chief of the Navy, Maudley, announced that Captain Crozier has been removed at his direction. And this is because, according to this report, he leaked a letter to the news where he was asking for this. And this is not someone saying the captain should never have asked to dock. This is not them saying he shouldn't have asked for treatment and housing for those infected to be on shore. This is not in any way related to that. This is very simply chain of command. You see, Captain Crozier has an admiral that he reports directly to. So that admiral has another admiral they report to. On and on and on, all the way up to the Chief of Staff of the Navy. And from there to the President. Captain Crozier went outside that chain of command and leaked information that should not have been leaked. Captain, for those who are not familiar with Navy rank, is the same as a colonel in the other three branches. It's an 06. So this is a man who has probably spent 20 plus years in the Navy and risen to command a United States aircraft carrier, the USS Theodore Roosevelt. And he decided that the Admiralty was not responding fast enough and capitulating to his demand that an aircraft carrier be taken out of service, docked, people housed on shore, and the entire thing disinfected and cleaned, which is a months-long process. Those things are huge. Imagine taking a town like, we'll just say Rochester, New York, and demanding that everyone move out and all buildings and other structures in the city would be cleaned and disinfected before anyone can come back in. That's the scale of the job they want. An aircraft carrier is not simply a ship. It's a floating city. These things have thousands upon thousands of people on them. They stay at sea for months on end. They're much easier to resupply than the subs, which stay out 4 months at a time. You can easily fly supplies directly to them in a matter of hours. These aircraft carriers, they can stay at sea for, I would bet, upwards of a year. This aircraft carrier apparently had recently docked in Vietnam, which is very close to Wuhan. And after leaving, they had people beginning to show symptoms of COVID-19. Now, I understand that when you are in an enclosed environment, you must be very careful with any contagion. But for Captain Crozier to decide that his letter has not been received and acted on as quickly and in the way he wants, so he's going to leak that letter to the news, is a violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, namely chain of command. He's been removed from his command. Now, the Department of the Navy can decide this was enough. They can push him out of the Navy. Or they could ultimately, at the high end of the response, court-martial him for insubordination. Something that not a lot of people know. You can go to jail for being late to work too often in the military. That can put people at risk. Insubordination can lead to jail time. Leaking information like this can lead to probably a long jail sentence. And Captain Crozier did this. No one is saying he didn't. And Acting Chief Modley has now removed him. And before all of the hype and hysteria and crying begins, just remember that this is the military. This is not the civilian sector where, say you worked in an office environment and your boss, because no one had ordered quarantine or shelter in place, your boss did not allow people to work from home. If you go to the media and say this and express concerns, your boss really can't do anything because you're not exposing company secrets or anything like that. You're simply saying that this is a large office building and we're facing a viral outbreak and we're not even allowed to voluntarily work from home. In the military, it's different. Because in the military, you swear to support and defend the Constitution and obey all orders given to you that are lawful. And an order not to leak to the news is lawful. Captain Crozier had many other avenues to address this concern. I will probably bet he wouldn't have been removed as fast had he just decided, I'm going to dock and put these people that are infected at a military installation in Guam, Australia, Philippines, doesn't matter. So I'm going to sail to this location, we're going to dock, and anyone who's been confirmed will be offloaded at that point, put on this military installation to be treated to flatten the curve. He might have had to explain himself to several people, but I doubt the speed at which he was removed from command would have been anything close to what we see or have seen. I don't know. I didn't serve in the military. I got very close because I was at junior ROTC in high school. Almost went in but didn't. Kind of wish I had now. But I do know that insubordination, violation of the chain of command, pretty serious thing to these folks, especially with what's going on right now. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. As always, stay civil. We're not here to scream, yell, and insult each other. We're just here to talk. And we can do that. Please remember to like and share the video so we expand the conversation and grow the channel. You'll want to make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so videos like this, which are not on my normal schedule, you're notified of. And so you'll be part of the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. Until next time, everyone stay safe, stay home, stay healthy, and stay smart. Everyone have a wonderful day. As I said in my edited opening before the acting secretary's comments, I don't want to change anything I said in the original video, which you saw between his comments in this section. I realize I gave my normal outro in that, so this is the edit. I'm not calling for a court-martial. I'm not calling for time in the break. I'm not calling for a dismissal from the Navy. I'm not calling for anything. I'm supporting the acting secretary's decision to remove Captain Crozier from command of the USS Theodore Roosevelt. If they choose to assign him to a new command, if they choose to demote him, if they choose to court-martial him, if they choose to just let him retire, if they choose another course, I will support the Navy's decision. Because in this instance, as the acting secretary said, Captain Crozier chose to send his letter to them through unsecure means and to copy other people, which exposed this. He mentioned that aid and other supplies were already en route to the USS Theodore Roosevelt at the time they received his letter. So Captain Crozier chose to break chain of command. Captain Crozier chose to break the rules. He has now been removed, and whatever the Navy decides, I will support that. I also believe the Navy will be transparent about why they choose to do what they do. I don't see this turning into another General Flynn, where months and months later, or years later, we find out that documents were edited and he was not allowed counsel and he was railroaded and he was told to plead this and something would happen, then it didn't. I don't see any of this happening because this is not the FBI or the NSA or the CIA or the DNC or any political group running this. This is the Department of the Navy, the Secretary of the Navy, and the Admiralty looking at this and deciding what to do with an officer that broke chain of command. I wanted to clarify that because I realized some things I may have said may have intimated I was calling for something. I'm not. I'm not a veteran. I have never served in the U.S. military. I wish I had, but I didn't. I am simply a former firefighter, political science junkie, history degree holder, certified to teach social studies. I've read the Constitution and so many other things. So in this instance, I'm going to rely on the Navy to make the right decision. That said, again, for this video at least, everyone stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy, and stay home. And have a wonderful day.